Welcome back to another episode of Boom or Bust. I'm your host, Terry, and today we're continuing our all-pro film session with J.J. Watt, defensive lineman from the Houston Texans. Once again, just going through the first team all-pro roster, going through some film, breaking down what I see, and confirming all-pro status. So J.J. Watt out of Wisconsin, what can you say? Big-time prospect, big-time player. Pretty much delivered everything that people were expecting from him. And funny enough, I didn't meet him, but I saw him. Like I went past him. Like it was either shortly before the draft or after his draft. But I had a friend who's an athlete in Wisconsin, and he was showing me around. And just so happened J.J. Watt and Joe Thomas were there at the time working out. And I remember that striking me because I'm just like, man, this dude, like, in the NFL now, like, and he's still at Wisconsin working out, like, right around the draft. So that was kind of crazy to me. But yeah, man, you're talking about size. Size is not the most important thing, but it's a factor. But then real power, not just in the weight room, functional strength. So one of the strongest guys, and then technique. That's a big thing I always harp on. Serious technique. Like a craftsman on the trenches as far as getting off blocks, understanding leverage and all that. And a motor. I mean, a lot of common threads between these all pros. So, not a whole lot to say. The man, his resume speaks for himself. Multiple defensive player of the year. Missed some significant time recently. People kind of thought, he was long in the tooth. And then this year, just right back at it, being the absolute monster. So, with further ado, we're going to go through some of these plays and look at some sacks and also some plays against the run. So, let's go ahead and get this started. And we'll be going week 17 down. I fully expect this player not to cooperate, but we'll see. And so, we'll go ahead to the end zone view because that's going to be the best view for the lineman. Let's see. So J.J. Watt's right here in the 4-eye. Gets a double team between tackle and the tight end and gets in on that stop. So again, inside the tackle shoulder, takes a step towards his gap. Double team, you see him with leverage, splitting. And really, like, that's perfect technique. And I forgot how tall J.J. Watt is. I don't want to make a Bobby Wagner mistake again, but he's a tall dude. But you teach defensive linemen that on a double team, you basically want to sit in a chair. You want to box these people out because they can't block you when you're sitting there. You see them get low, split that double team, be in the gap waiting, and makes that tackle almost a tackle for loss. And so in the red zone, to have a big-time play like that, that's crazy. I mean, NFL big dudes, now they left that double team a little early. They probably could have stayed on it more, but anyway. So we get a little read option here. J.J. Watt is the read key in man line of scrimmage. They're going to leave him. And he's going to stay home enough for Blake to give the ball, which is fine. That's the right read, but then the rest of the D-line does their job. Don't give him any big gaps to go through, and then JJ closes and makes a play on the ball. So you could be the read key. Doesn't mean you out of the play. You can continue to work towards the ball. So JJ's way out here in the wide 9. Gets a chip by the receiver and is way past the tackle. I don't know what that tackle is doing. The angle from the very beginning, it was over with. So, not sure who that tackle is, but they were terrible on this. So, not getting wide enough. JJ's right on the hoop to the quarterback. And you see that once he gets ready to go into contact, though, even with that speed, he's leaning. He's getting low, getting that arm, ripping to the ear. Runs into his man, but that's his sack. And that's just nasty. I mean, he's tall, so he's a long strider. Covers a lot of ground, but, that's still good speed for a dude that big. All right, so third down. Still against the Jags here. So JJ's on the edge to the offense's right. Looks like another pass play. And again, the tackle is just terrible with the angles. And I believe that's him and Clowney that meet at the quarterback. But again, so he's in this wide 9. So he's already in a wide hoop. You could beat him to the spot and get him outside the quarterback. But the tackle just stops. I don't know what he's waiting for. I don't know if he thinks JJ is going to run into him, but JJ is going around that hoop. And I can't see the name of that tackle. That was absolutely terrible. So anyway, we're going against the Eagles now. In the white zone, it looks like. And it looks like a third down play. So we got J.J. Watt to the offense's right, lined up over the tight end in a 7. They try to go one-on-one with the tight end. That is not happening. Easy swim move. And Jamal does a good job pressing the hole. But J.J. Watt just pursuing, helping make a play. And again, this tight end has no chance. First of all, he gets juked out of his shoes as Watt sets him up with an inside head zone and then comes back outside and then olays him. Yeah. And I believe that's Goddard, and he is not a blocker. So that was over with. And that was funny. All right, so against the Eagles again. We got JJ again, lined up, head up the tight end. They block down on the zone. It's a handoff. Tight end has no business trying to keep J.J. Watt out of that gap. And again, that's the rest of the defense doing their job. Nowhere for a run back to go. And J.J. Watt closing down backside. And some people aren't good at closing down backside. Some people give up if the play's not near them or they're just too slow. But good athleticism, good motor. And he comes down. Now, he's against Lane Johnson here, who isn't a slouch of a tackle. So let's see here. They try to set him up with the pass pro on the handoff, which I like. I mean, you set up a pass pro, you try to get Watt to go around and then run behind him. But Watt, I'm only guessing keys that they're running because he goes right into Lane Johnson. And actually, this might have been a run blitz. Maybe. Just looking where the linebacker was stepping and where Watt was stepping, it might have been a run blitz. But either way, that's a stack and shed, man. That's just textbook. You'll see him in a stack and shed. So stack, he'll get his hands into position, bench press out the tackle. So now there's space for him to defeat the block. Disengages off the block, makes the tackle. Textbook. So now this is against the Jets. Again on the edge. Now that's on the quarterback. Quarterback, I would say the tackle, and I just let the play skip. I would say the tackle did a good job actually on that play. Watt was leaning but not too hard. So he was still tall enough where the tackle could have ran him off. But the quarterback drifted back and got right into J.J. Watt's path. So more so on the quarterback than a tackle. All right, zone down again. Looks like a kick-out block coming down. Takes on that block with his hands. Not to mention that tight end didn't want anything to do with J.J. Watt. And he just helps out on the tackle. Now, if he was coming for JJ, you saw JJ attack with his hands. He's not scared. He's going to attack the blocker and not catch the block. But just so happened that tight end didn't want any work from him. And so J.J. Watt head up with the tight end this time on the offense's right. Again, I mean, he doesn't make that play, but he starts that play. And again, why would you want to tight end one-on-one with J.J. Watt? That is too easy. Not to mention most of these tight ends aren't blockers. Actually, he caused a fumble. I didn't even realize that till right now. So the running back does do a nice little move to evade Watt. But you'll see Watt hits him and causes the ball to disrupt and come out. But you know what? This is why J.D. Clowney was such a huge pickup. You know, people were kind of questioning the pick. And it's like, this is what happens. You have a perennial, like, all-pro getting easy looks because people have to decide who they want to block. You know, this freak of nature or this other freak of nature. So outside to the defense's right. Taking all day to snap this ball. Alright, so run block. Presses him out, holds his gap. Stays under the block, sees the running back bouncing out, spins off the block, and then makes the tackle. And you notice he's playing behind the line of scrimmage. These are game records. He's not playing back here on this block. He's playing behind the offensive line of scrimmage. So when he makes a play, more times than not, it's going to be behind the line of scrimmage. And that's the type of defenders you want. That's what you see out of Aaron Donald in the top echelon, guys. All right, so outside again, going against his tackle. I don't know if they got hurt, but they replaced him. So they step to him again, trying to wall him off. But again, the reason he's able to fall back and make that tackle is because he's benching these guys. And so when he creates this space between you and the lineman with those arms, this space, he can now go one or two ways. And once he sees the running back coming his way, he's able to fold back. And then the lineman is truly blocking in the back at that point. So again, using your extension to create space so then you could then get off that block. So Watt's here inside this time. Oh, yeah. That's good night. So the tackle's worried about the outside as well. He's really in the three. Basically, he's going to be in this B-gap 3-tech. So one-on-one with this guard. Gets a little help from the tackle. But he overextends. He's holding him. And again, that's just good hand technique. That's good pass rush move. And feet to the quarterback, as I always say. Always going towards the quarterback. And so then what happens is, once he defeats him with that quick swim, he's able to just explode towards the quarterback. So we got a heavy line lined up over the tackle. They step down. Looks like they're trying to seal him off on the backside. Actually, it's a play action. And yeah, he just destroys them. They looked like they were trying to sell the play action a little too hard by just like kind of slowly walling him off to make him think the ball's going the other way. But JJ has a motor, man. He's not going to stop. So number one, he slips backside the other gap, tackles late to help, or the tackle is late to help, and he's too much for one person. So they're going to step down, thinking that he's going to flow with them, and they're just going to seal him off. But he slips backside, and they had an extra tackle, I guess. And yeah, he's gone. Feet to the quarterback. Always moving towards the quarterback. And I mean, of course, there's a level of athleticism there that makes him elite. So against the Colts again. Got him inside the tackle shoulder and the 4-eye on the backside. Step to him on a run block, defeated easily. And then just chases this play down. Dude, J.J. Watt is a monster. He's just an absolute monster. So defeats this block easily, steps to him. And then he gives him a quick swim. You know, he meets the contact with his hands. And again, that momentum allows him to twerk the offensive lineman forward and then pull him back. Tackle for loss again. You see the quick swims. It starts with hand technique. There's guys that bully ball, that they're this big and they just bully guys. But you see J.J. Watt's effective because he's looking to get off blocks. And so now all that stuff doesn't matter because he's in the backfield ready to make a play. I always tell my D-lineman, always tell them, it's a lot easier to make a play when you're not being blocked. So get off the block and then you can look and make plays like this. But there's too many guys that want to engage. They want to get tangled up with linemen. They want to just sit there and bump titties until they see a play and then try to make the tackle and get off the block. And sometimes that works, but more times than not, it's just like get off the block first and then worry about it. So now against Jack Conklin, who is a real monster. So he steps to him on a base block. Again, bench presses him out. Shrent versus Shrent. And at the last second is able to defeat. And Jack doesn't give up. Jack keeps going. He's holding them. But you see it's Shrent versus Shrent. But JJ's strong, man. He's strong. These both guys are strong. But JJ with that technique, he's able to get the leverage and then defeat that block. So now JJ is on the defense's left side. Again, and that's Taylor Lewan, the other all-pro tackle. And so he's head up with Taylor as two tight ends. He steps to him, lunging a little bit, and just olays him. Now he's in the backfield, able to make plays. And not to jump off topic, but Clowney's in the backfield a heck of a lot too. But man, you watch this stuff and you see how often JJ's in somebody's backfield. This is playing behind the line of scrimmage. So JJ's over to the left. And really, that's the quarterback. That's a coverage sack. It takes time for him after this play action to get there, but he goes with the bull rush. And the lineman's underneath, so he's got leverage. But JJ just has effort, motor, uses his extension and explosion to dive towards the quarterback. I don't know if he got credited with half a sack on that, and that's I don't know why I said the tackle. That's Conklin. Again, he had great leverage. So that bull rush didn't exactly work, but not giving up, continuing to go towards the quarterback and make a play. If you've been watching this series, you know these all-pros have motors. All right, so against Jack, and it's just a play. Well, it's a handoff. So again, they let him run upfield, but he doesn't give up. Doesn't give up. He's going to keep coming. He's going to keep coming. And again, look at the hands. The hands are natural. Even when the play seems like it's over, the hands are natural. Just real quick, easy disengage. That's the thing you'll see between Watt and Aaron Donald. We didn't see a dominant player like Watt until Aaron Donald came onto the scene. So, and the reason those two are like that is because of his hand technique. All right, so we got a tight line, tight splits. Watt's on the outside. They step to him. Just moving his feet to stay to the outside. Defense does their job, so the running back has to keep cutting. And then Watt just continues with his motor to help out on the play. So tight ends again. Ball towards the 50. Watt is head up with the tight end. Not sure why. They block down. And he's just coming upfield. The fullback or H-back, whatever, didn't want any piece of Watt. They try to make the play go away from him, but again, like zone, you had a cutback. So defense does their job to the play side. Running back wants to take it the other way. And actually they pull, so it's some type of counter. But either way, I guess they were planning for this H-back to kick out Watt, and that was not happening. Nor was that Poole going to kick him out because he's too explosive. He's already up the field. So it's interesting to see how some of these teams played Watt. I mean, it's not like it was easy for him, but still, they didn't give him the respect he deserved. So now he's got 2 tight ends to his side. And that's just a hustle play again. The tight ends don't do a great job, but it was enough of a job. The rest of the defense does their job, and Watt just hustles to clean up a play. I was about to say, is this the same play? Just kind of similar, I guess. So Conklin does his job. He's able to catch up Watt. But defense clogs it up, makes it bounce. Watt and Clowney just hustling, chasing down the play. And again, you see Watt is never down the field. He's always at the line or behind the line. And so when he does have these cleanup plays, they're big plays because he's waiting for you. And again, why is a tight end blocking Watt one-on-one? Especially when you got an all-pro tackle. And the tight end wants nothing to do with it. It's so easy. And then attacks the ball, which I love. I love how him and Clowney always run into each other. I mean, I hope they don't get hurt, but actually it looked like Clowney got hurt. But they always run into each other because they're both whooping their tackle. I didn't realize how dangerous that could be. So, it must be the Redskins. Yeah, FedEx Field. And we'll go through a couple more plays. So on the outside, and again, somehow Watt ends up one-on-one with a tight end with 2 good tackles on this team. Tackle can't bench him out. Watt's sitting there in his gap. And the rest of the D-line is good too, man. I mean, the thing is, if Watt can do his job, if other people are getting destroyed and their gap is open, then the running backs could bounce there. So it's not much Watt can do. It's only when everybody does their job that people are able to make these plays. So tight end slides in. Morgan Moses step towards Watt way too high. Watt uses his leverage, defeats the block, gets back in the gap. And again, taking care of his job, his responsibility. And Morgan Moses is just too high on that. Watt plays with leverage. He's tall, but he plays with leverage. All right, so the defense's left side again, or to the, defense's left side, offense's right side. Morgan steps to him again. Good hand position. But again, the rest of the defense is in position. Watt's doing his job. He's fighting to keep the outside contained. He's trying to keep his outside arm free, but there's nowhere for the running back to bounce. So he continued towards Watt's path, and Watt just makes the play. And so make no mistake, Watt is doing big things. He's making the plays he has to make, but also keep in mind his defenses allow him to do that. There's plays, of course, that he's just doing by himself, but there's a lot of plays, especially in the run game, where everybody's working together. All right, so tight end again. Looks like a pass play. Tight end goes out. Morgan's in decent position, but again, that rip. And he's wide. He's actually wide. As you can see, the quarterback, he's not on a tight path to the quarterback. And so right now, Morgan's okay. Quarterback does his job stepping up, but again, coverage does their job. Nowhere for the quarterback to go. And Watt's not going to give up. Watt's going to keep hunting until he gets you. All right, so let's do a couple plays with Denver, and we'll call it a... What did I... Okay, not sure what I just did. Anyway, Watt over here to the defense's left, play action. Now they do a little stunt or a little twist. And the line picks it up very well. Usually they don't. That's a coverage sack. Usually the line just lets the person go wide open. But again, JJ's overpowering. And so, well, guess that was it for Denver. So one play. Again, who is this? The Dolphins? It's hard to see. So Watt's over here. Defense is left. Play action. This dude's just killing people. Play action. That's Jawan James. People like him. Play action. Watt's on his edge now. Now he's going to rip and lean, and that's a tight lean. That's one where he's all the way underneath the block. Nowhere to go. Good night. All right, so we'll end it there because Watt has a bunch of plays. And you know the crazy thing is, like, when I filtered the plays, I accidentally had incomplete passes on, and he had 15. And I'm just like, wait, 15 completes because he swats the ball. We know the Watt swat. And so you look at how effective he is against the run, effective as a pass rusher, and then on top of that, he's giving you D-back type numbers as incompletions and that or deflections. And that's not a small thing. It's not like, okay, tip the ball, it's over. Tips turn into interceptions and they're incomplete passes. The same way a corner breaking up a pass down the field is incomplete. That's J.J. Watt making an incomplete pass. That's a play the offense doesn't get to make. And so you're talking about just all world. There's not even anybody in the conversation besides Aaron Donald. And so J.J. Watt very much still has it and is really just an absolute monster. So definitely all pro status. Go to the comment section. Let me know what you think about Watt. Share it around. Get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for listening.